Ananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So we welcome all the devotees for this Nectar of Instruction session. So we are, I think this is the sixth session. Actually, this session was supposed to be taken by His Grace Rijudev Gaur Prabhuji, because he has started the verse number 3, and it has been halfway completed by him, but due to some unavoidable circumstance, today he is not able to take, so he has requested me to take it. So, but I can assure that it will not be the standard of Rijudev Kaur Prabhuji, because he is a wonderful preacher, wonderful uh, lecturer. So I will try. Let's see. So, can anyone remember till which paragraph we have completed the verse number 3? Can anyone unmute and say?
Yeah, Prabhuji, this is up to the like Krishna will surely protect me and give me help for the successful executions of devotional service. This is called confidence. Up to that
Up
much.
to that, no? Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Shukantu Prabhu is very wonderful devotee. He is attending very all the classes nicely. So I have actually posted the assignment for verse number 2. So devotees can take that. And this assignment is a combination of MCQ and some descriptive answer. So, so we have completed up to the part of Utshaho Nischayat. So Nischayat part has been completed. So actually, I'm just giving a brief prelude before we start the actual discussion. So let us see the verse once again. Oh. Hmm. Everyone can see the verse? Yes. So just a minute. Actually, in the book, it is difficult to find out the paragraphs. Oh, let me share this. This thing is easy to see. So this is the verse number 3, nectar of instruction, verse number 3, that is utsahanischa dhairjat tat tat karma pravartanat shangatyagat shatapritte sarvir bhakti prasiddhati. So these are the activities which help us. These are favorable activities which help us progressing in Krishna consciousness. Not only progressing, if we discharge these 6 activities as prescribed by our acharyas, our parampara, then we can come to the platform of pure devotional service undoubtedly. It is assured. Just see the translation. There are 6 principles favorable to the execution of pure devotional service. This is the principles, favorable principles for executing pure devotional service, not mixed devotional service, mixed with karma or jnana or yoga, not like that. It is this execution of these 6 favorable principles will help us to come to the platform of pure devotional service. What are those principles? Being enthusiastic. Second is endeavoring with confidence. Thirdly, being patient. Fourthly, acting according to the regulative principles such as Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, hearing, chanting, and remembering Krishna. Fifth is abandoning the association of non devotees and following. So, sixth is following in the footsteps of previous acharyas. So, these are the 6 principles which enable us to come to the pure devotional service. Now, among these, already Ritudeep Gaur Prabhuji has wonderfully discussed about being enthusiastic. What is the meaning of enthusiastic? And then endeavoring with confidence and being patient. So I think these 3 aspects are already discussed according to the purport of Srila Prabhupada. And we are in this case. Mhm. So from here today we will read as already explained. One should not idle. So as already, one should not be idle, but should be very enthusiastic about executing the regulative principles. So I would like to request devotees to read the parts. Shukantu Prabhu, could you please read this paragraph?
Yes, Prabhuji. As already explained, one should not be idle but should be very enthusiastic about executing the regulative principles. Tat tat karma pravartana. Neglect of the regulative principles will destroy devotional service. In this Krishna consciousness movement, there are 4 basic regulative principles: forbidding illicit sex, meat eating, gambling, and intoxication. A devotee must be very enthusiastic about following these principles. If he becomes slack in following any of them, his progress will certainly be checked. Srila Rupa Goswami therefore recommends tat tat karma pravartanat. One must strictly follow the regulative principles of Vaidhi Bhakti. In addition to these 4 prohibitions, yama, there are positive regulative principles, niyama, such as the daily chanting of 16 rounds on Japamala beads. These regulative activities must be faithfully performed with enthusiasm. This is called Tattat Karma Pravartana, or varied engagement in devotional service.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So this is very important aspect that we should not discharge devotional service according to our whimsical uh, mind. That okay, we need to do devotional service. Whatever way my the feelings is coming, I will do that way. No, that is not actually the way of discharging devotional service. That stage will come later on when spontaneously I will desire to do some devotional service, which will come when one will become very purified. And that is called the stage of Ashokti stage, and that is very high stage. We have discussed. that there are progressive stages in the devotional service. So here particularly Srila Prabhupada mentioned Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. Vaidhi Bhakti. This word is very important. So actually now what we are doing, practicing, we are telling that we are practicing Krishna conscious devotee. We are not considering ourselves as a devotee. We are practicing devotee. We are trying to, we are bhakti anushilan. It is like a called a anushilan of bhakti. We are practicing. We are not have become actually devotee. So this is we need to understand. We are practicing devotee, and that's why we need to follow strictly the regulative principles of Vaidhi Bhakti. Because why we need to follow? Because there is a chance of not following. There is a propensity in our heart to not to follow the regulative principles. This is natural in materialistic platform. This is very natural. Naturally people don't want to follow any regulative principles, any regulation they don't want to follow. So that's why this is again and again emphasized by our acharyas that we need to follow the regulative principles, strictly follow, not whimsically follow, strictly follow. Each and every word is very important in this book. This book is very small book, not very big gigantic size book like Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. Is a very big book, but this book is very short, small book. But this small book, if one actually read very scrutinizingly, each and every word has so importance, full of important, very very important. Each and every word is very important. So this Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, there are two categories of Sadhana Bhakti. One is Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti and another is Raganuga Sadhana Bhakti. When we will study Nectar of Devotion in that book, Rupa Goswami will elaborately discuss what is these two types of bhakti. So we are now practicing Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti till the stage of Ruchi. Till we come to the stage of Ruchi, we are at the stage of Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. After Ruchi, the Ashakti stage onwards, it is Raganuka Bhakti. And when one reach the Bhava Bhakti, that is the stage of Ragatmika Bhakti, Bhava and Prema stage. So this way, the categorization of progression of bhakti has been done by Srila Rupa Goswami. So we have to follow what we need to follow, very simple regulative principles we need to follow. And that is what the four regulative principles. In this Krishna consciousness movement, these four regulative principles has been given as a foundation to practice this devotional. So practicing means, as we have discussed just now, that we are have not yet become devotee. We are trying to become devotee. We have that aspiration to become devotee, and that's why we are practicing it. Just like when before the player, finally the cricketers finally come to the final cricket ground, they practice net practice. They do net practice, isn't it? We have seen this. They do the net practice. So in that net practice, it is actually not any game. They are not in any game. They are just practicing. In the net, they are practicing. They are not actually playing any real game. They are not put into the real game. So they are just practicing. So they are not actually, we cannot tell them that is a cricketer. They are practicing cricket. They are getting ready that one day they will get into the real field and they will play a real match where there will be a victory and there will be some one party will lose and one party will be victorious. So now there is nothing like that. So our case is like that. We are at the net practice under our coach. Coach is our spiritual master, and not only the spiritual master, and the spiritual master is giving the training according to the parampara acharya. Tat tat karma pravartanat means we have to follow previous acharyas. We cannot do anything whimsically. Actually, this is a very very important principle. Sometimes we think that now we are practicing this Krishna consciousness movement is going ahead in this modern time. So we may need to adjust so many things. We may need to change something. So that is there. That propensity is naturally there. That okay, maybe the previous acharyas have practiced something some 500 years ago, 400 years ago, 300 years ago, but now the socio-political situation, economical situation, mindset has changed. So now we need to also change this bhakti principle or bhakti way of practicing bhakti, or we have to do something to suit this time, place, and circumstance. So this sometimes this consideration comes. Yes, sometimes this consideration comes, but we need to understand that what we need to change and what we cannot change. Like normally, the situation was that the disciples should go to the should come physically and attend the class, isn't it? That was the normal situation. But now what is happening due to this pandemic situation? We are now doing this class on this Zoom platform. So this platform has changed due to the situation, due to the present situation. But the teachings cannot be changed. Earlier, most of the preaching was going to happen through book knowledge. The acharyas have written so many books. So now, along with the books, now present day acharyas, they are publishing so many videos, YouTube videos. So that communication medium can change, because we are reaching more people through videos. Previously people were more prone to read. They had the habit, culture of reading books. They have the time, the lifestyle was different. But now, while going, while traveling, commuting, so many things are happening in this world, in this modern world. Actually, those who are connected, fortunately or unfortunately, we don't know how much we are fortunate to being connected in the modern world. We have discussed in the while we have discussed the verse number 2, that Ottahar principle we have discussed there. There Prabhupada was telling that this more the simple living and high thinking principle. And he said that people sometimes think that this high simple living and high thinking means we have to become a primitive age. But we need to understand that it is not the primitive. Actually, that is the way we can practice Krishna consciousness very easily. So so main thing is that setup, the ambience has changed. So we have to adjust with that ambience, and we have to change our platform also. Now we are producing videos, we are preaching through online medium. But what we are preaching, the content cannot be changed. Content cannot be changed. We may need to present the content based on there is a content and there is a context or ambience. So the content has to be, the core content has to be the same core content that is coming from the acharyas. We cannot change that core teachings of acharyas. Otherwise, we will not be connected with the parampara. Now we are telling that we are connected with Brahma, Madhya, Gauriya, Sampradaya. Not only that we are Madhya, Brahma, Gauriya, Rupanuga, Saraswata, Prabhupadanuga, Sampradaya. That is our chain. But if we change the teachings of Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada has given as it is. As it is, he has got from his guru, his spiritual master, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So we need to also give or practice according the teachings of Srila Prabhupada. Then the success is there. So that is one favorable way of discharging devotional service, that we should not change the core teachings of parampara. The presentation can be different. Now I am presenting the teaching in Zoom platform. Now we are presenting the teachings in YouTube platform, in various Facebook platform. But the teachings should not be changed. Just to become very popular in the social media, we cannot more distort the teachings, and we cannot present it in a different way so that it becomes more popular, it gets more viewership, get more subscription, it get more thing. No, that is actually not the principle of Tat Tat Karam Pravartan. So that we need to understand very, very clearly that whatever we are doing, it should be tat tat karum pravartan. Is that clear? Okay. So now we are moving to the next paragraph. Just like now we are chanting 16 round. So this Prabhupada has given. Now this Prabhupada that actually Mahaprabhu, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given 64 rounds chanting. Now Prabhupada is such a empowered Acharya that he can change that from that 64 round to 16 rounds. But we are not in a position to change. Not in the future also. Any Prabhupada Onugo will not able to change this 16 round to 8 round or 4 round. No, that is not going to happen in coming 10,000 years. Still the ISKCON is existing in this world. It will never going to happen. If it is going to happen, then it is not a Prabhupada Anugo form organization. That will not remain the ISKCON where the whose founder Acharya is Srila Prabhupada. We cannot say. We will be disconnected from the parampara. So that's why if we have to be connected with the bona fide parampara, we have to follow Tattat Karam Pravartana, whether we like it or don't like it. It does not depend upon our liking. If we really want to come to that platform of pure devotional service, we have to go. So next paragraph, who will read? Karan Prabhu, could you please read this paragraph? Furthermore, in order to successful in devotional service. Okay, I think you have just now joined. You can take some time. I think Prashanjit Prabhu, could you please read this paragraph furthermore?
Yeah, Hare Krishna, are you able to hear me?
Yes,
Hare
we are able
Krishna.
to. Yes, we are able to hear you.
Yeah. So, okay. So, furthermore, in order to be successful in devotional service, one must give up the association of undesirable people. This includes karmis, gyanis, yogis, and other non-devotees. Once, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was asked by one of his householder devotees about the general principles of Vaishnavism as well as the general routine activities of the Vaishnava. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately replied, Asat Sangat Tyaga, Ei Vaishnava Achara. Characteristically, a Vaishnava is one who gives up the association of worldly people or non-devotees. Srila Narottama Das Thakura has therefore recommended Tadero Chorono Sevi Bhakta Shane Vasa. One has to live in the company of pure devotees and execute the regulative principles laid down by the previous acharyas, the 6 Goswamis, namely Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatan Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, Sri Gopal Bhatta Goswami, and Sri Raghu Bhatta Goswami. If one lives in the association of devotees, there is little chance of associating with non-devotees. The International Society for Krishna Consciousness is opening many centers just to invite people to live in the company of devotees and practice the regulative principles of spiritual life.
Wonderful. Thank you, Prabhu. So here the Ashad Shanga Tyaga, this principle has been discussed by Srila Prabhupada. So this Ashad Shanga Tyaga is very important aspect of our discharging devotional service, because this association actually creates the real aspiration, either materialistic aspiration or spiritual aspiration. So this is very important, and we need to be protected by the association of devotees. Otherwise, we will be influenced by non-devotee association. So more we get association, more we get inspiration also. This inspiration will help us progressing in Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, why we are taking the trouble to conduct such classes? Why Hanuman Prabhuji is every week after us that please attend this class, because we are living in this Kali Yuga which is contaminated with so many non-devotional aspects, so many non-devotional elements at each and every moment bombarded on our consciousness. So how we will protect ourselves, how we will remain protected, pure, purified stage to practice this Krishna consciousness if we don't take the association. Sometimes we after passing some years, some lump sum years in devotional service in bhakti life, we think that now I am quite wonderful. I am now very strong devotee. Everyone is respecting me. I am very senior devotee. Now I don't need the association much. I can here and there. I can now. I am in a position of giving association. No, yes, giving association when we are in the non-devotional association, but when we we need to also think that how much association we are taking. Association is very important at any stage of our life, any stage of our life. Even that our today's sannyasis, Maharaj, those who are giving initiation, those who are leading our this movement, they are also looking for association, because they are because this getting association is a blessing of Krishna. It is not very easily obtainable thing. Bhakti association is very rare. That's why Narottam Das Thakur is telling that Tadero Charana Sevi Bhakta Shanebas. জনমে জনমে আমার এই অভিলাষ, এই অভিলাষই আমি করি যেন আমি সর্বদা ভক্তর সঙ্গে বাস করতে পারি। এবং and there is a conversation between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Rai, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked, what is the greatest misfortune for a devotee? So Ramananda Rai answered that greatest misfortune is not getting the association of devotees. So who is Ramananda Rai? Ramananda Rai is Nitya Siddha devotee. He is an incarnation of combined incarnation of Arjuna and Vishaka Shoki, one of the principal Shoki. He is that. He is that, and he is telling. That means he is also looking for association, not only Krishna's association, Krishna's devotees association. So that we need to understand, and ISKCON has been established for this reason. Either in town or village. Particularly in town, it is very important to establish ISKCON centers, particularly preaching centers, every nook and corner, so that people can take the advantage of the association. And where an association of soul, association means not only just coming physically together, but bringing our soul together, give our heart and soul in that association, so that we can get the nourishment, the inspiration, the aspiration for practicing Krishna consciousness. That is very important. So next paragraph, who is going to read? Sushmita Mataji, would you please try to read this paragraph, devotional service? Yes.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, Mataji.
Devotional service means transcendental activities. On the transcendental platform, there is no contamination by the three modes of material nature. This is called Vishuddha Sattva, the platform of pure goodness, or goodness free from contamination by the qualities of passion and ignorance. In this Krishna consciousness movement, we require everyone to rise early in the morning by 4 a.m. and attend the Mangala Arati or morning worship. Then read Srimad Bhagavatam, perform Kirtana, and so forth. Thus, we hold continuous activities in devotional service 24 hours daily. This is called Satovritti, or following the footsteps of the previous acharyas who expertly filled every moment of time with Krishna conscious activities.
Yes. Thank you, Mataji.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So this is very important, that actually recently on the day of Prabhupada's disappearance day, I got a wonderful video. I will try to share in the group also. The last lesson, actually, I don't want to share also that video, because that video actually Prabhupada's passing away video, a very heart melting video, touching video, and some part of the video is very difficult to see because Prabhupada's physical body is not in a proper shape. So maybe you can search in the YouTube, you can get it. So the final lesson, this is the name, something in this name it is there. So there, the lastly when Prabhupada was on his deathbed, almost he was almost the final day, maybe the just before the passing. Yeah, so he was telling that he was thinking that how this movement can be reached to the all the people of this Kali Yuga. So he was telling that most difficult challenge is this Kali Yuga means tada rajas tamo bhavo kamo lobho dayaschaje cheto kamo lobho dayaschaje. That means this Kali Yuga is actually contaminated by Rajo and Tamogun. And Rajo and Tamogun means it is the uh, it is kamo and lobo. Kamo means something for hankering, something desiring, and lobo something greedy. So this kamo and lobo is always there if we remain in the Rajo and Tamagun. So that's why Prabhupada was thinking that to change this thing, that means tada rajas tamo bhavo kamo lobo dayasya cheto etoir anabvidya sitang satya prasid. So how to come to this Shattagun? The Shattagun, because until and unless we come to the Vishuddha Sattva, we cannot perform the mm, regular devotional service properly, and we cannot actually release devotional service. Okay, it will be a mechanical way of discharging devotional service, because always there will be contamination of Raju as Tama. Even the Shattagun will be contaminated. So sometimes we will feel enthusiastic, and sometimes we will not feel enthusiastic. Sometimes we will able to chant good rounds, and sometimes we will not able to chant good. So that's why Prabhupada's main instruction was, last lesson was that everyone should be able to wake up early in the morning by 4 a.m. and attend Mangal Arati. By doing this, because why it is happening, why it is difficult, because now people most of the time it is very when any discussion in with other non-devotee discussion in office or in anywhere, if we say that I want to wake up 4 a.m. by 4 a.m., people will say, why you will wake up at midnight? Because 4 a.m. for the materialistic people is almost like a midnight, because they normally used to go to sleep at around 11:30, 12 o'clock, 12 plus 12:30, something like that, particularly in the weekends. But for devotees, that should not be the case. That should not be done. Devotees should go to bed at least before by 9:30, so that they can get a wonderful sleep and wake up fresh and fine by 3:30 or 3:45, and get ready for Mangal Arati by 4:30, after taking bath and uh, getting ready for the Mangal Arati. And after Mangal Arati, they can chant very nice round. Just like in the home, in anyone is chant and doing Mangal Arati, it will not take more than half an hour, because in temple it is elaborately done. That's why it takes 1 hour. So in house we can do in a simple Mangal Arati, just incense. We can offer incense and flower, water, and we can do Mangal Arati in a simple standard of, and put a photo frame. No need to bring deities and anything. So those devotees really want to release this Krishna consciousness. Try to wake up early in the morning and do Mangal Arati, and then chant the round morning hour chanting. If we can do this thing, at least if we don't have, try to do it for 1 week. You just try it. If we try it, we can do it. But what is the difficulty? Difficulty is going early to the bed. At least practically, I have seen that is the most difficult situation in city life. So that's why Srila Prabhupada was telling in the last lesson that how people will come to this mode of goodness, how they will come at least for mode, because mode of goodness is the platform to go to the Vishuddha Sattva, that the pure goodness. So if people are not coming to mode of goodness, then what is the question of coming to pure goodness, and what is the question of becoming pure devotee? So nothing will happen. Everything will go at a mechanical level, and it will be covered with contaminated with Raja and Tama. And what will be end? We will again come back into this human society, because human birth will be successful because we are doing some devotional service. We will get some shukriti, but we will not get delivered from this material world. We will not enter into the realm of pure devotional service. So that's why this is very important principle, the morning program. Prabhupada has given a wonderful morning program from 4:30 to 8:30, 9 o'clock. At least for 4:30 to 8 o'clock. 4 to 8, this 4 hour. Why? Just you know that this entire daytime has the entire day, 24 hours, is divided into various categories of time and various categories of modes. You know that the time from 2 a.m. 2 a.m. to 10 o'clock in the morning, 10 a.m. is the mode of goodness. From 10 a.m. To 6 o'clock, and then 6 p.m. is the time of uh, Rajashik, that is the passionate mode. And from 6 p.m. to the 2 a.m., it is the time of Tamogun. So that's why we can understand that if we want to come to the platform of uh, Shattagun, that is the mode of goodness, we have to stay awake more in the Shattagun hour. Shattagun hour we have to be more awake rather than in the Tamagun hour. But the modern society is running in such a way that the Shattagun hour is less and Tamagun hour is more. People are going to sleep late night and waking up in the late day, in the late hours, not in the early morning hours. So naturally they are not getting the Shattagun hour. So if we need to increase, want to purify ourselves, want to come to the Shattagun platform, at least first this is the primary stage, and from that stage we can come to the Vishuddha Shatta. So all of you, those who are here in this class, at least you should take this thing very seriously, so that gradually you should plan your day in such a way. Sometimes it will be here and there because we are in this modern life, modern day, modern society. We are staying in a city life, city dweller. So in my case also sometimes here and there, but at least try. If we keep on trying, Krishna will see our endeavor, how sincerely we are trying. So that is very important. So here also the same thing has been discussed, that Ja Nisha Sarva Bhutanam Tasaham Jagarati Sanjami Jasaham Jagarati Bhutani Sha Nisha Pashyato Muni. What is night for all being is the time of awakening for the self-controlled, and the time of awakening for all being is night for the introspective sage. So this is the actual wonderful verse which can be used in our modern day scenario, that those who are not practicing Krishna consciousness, they are waking up. When they are waking up, we are sleeping. When they are awake, they were awake till 12 o'clock. But we should start sleep at least by 9:30 or at least by 10 o'clock, maximum 10 p.m., not beyond that. So that is the point. So they are enjoying nightclubs, restaurants, parlor. They are going and enjoying unrestrictedly. They are enjoying, and when they are sleeping say till 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock they are sleeping and just waking up, getting a bath and just rushing to office. But we devotees should awake from at least by 3:30 or 4 o'clock. So then we can increase our lives, the element of Shattaguna. The Shattaguna influence will be there in our subtle mind, and that will purify ourselves. So that is very important. So So if one strictly follow this advice given in this verse by Srila Rupa Goswami, namely being enthusiastic, being confident, being patient, giving up association of unwanted persons, following the regulative principle and remaining in the association of devotees, one is sure to advance in devotional service. This is assurance. Prabhupada is giving assurance. So what to think? We need not to afraid of anything. We just have to follow. In this regard, Srila Bhaktivinoda Saraswati Thakur remarks that the cultivation of knowledge by philosophical speculation, the collection of mundane opulence by the advancement of fruitive activities, and the desire for Yogashuddhis, mutual perfections, are all contrary to the principles of devotional service. One has to become thoroughly callous to such non-permanent activities and turn his intention instead to the regulative principles of devotional service, according to Bhagavad Gita. This we have already read. So this is the thing that this Bhaktivinoda Saraswati Thakur is actually giving the definition of pure devotional service. Anno vilashita shunnam jnana karma anabhritam anukulleno krishna anushiranam bhakti uttama. So that is uttama bhakti is this, when it is not covered by speculation, Jnana karma anabhritam. Collection of mundane opulence, that is the Annabhilasita. And the desire for karma, gyan and yoga, that should not cover our knowledge. So that will not bring us at the platform. That will become mixed devotional service. That is karma mishra bhakti, jnana mishra bhakti, yoga mishra bhakti. So that is here actually Prabhupada is highlighting, referring to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So then the engagement in the devotional service of the Lord is the life and soul of living entity. Engagement in devotional service. That I am engaged in devotional service. That we should feel proud of it. Actually, we want to feel proud. Instead of becoming proud out of false ego, become proud out of our real ego. What is our real ego? Real ego that I am servant of Lord, who is the Lord of entire world cosmic creation. So that should be our pride. That I am I am a servant. I am getting the opportunity to engage in the devotional service. We should be proud for this. This is our real ego. Real egoist. This is the really. We have to come to that platform of real egoistic platform. Real egoistic. Instead of false egoistic platform, we have to come to this real egoistic platform. We have the tendency to egoistic. So instead of becoming a false egoistic, let us become real egoistic. What is the difficulty? We should know how to become real egoistic. Then we can channelize our ego, and that channelization will encourage us to progress in Krishna consciousness. So it is the desired goal and supreme perfection of human to come to this real ego, that I am getting the opportunity to give my life and soul for devotional service. One has to become confident about this, and one has to confident that I am I am at the perfect position, that I am connected with a perfect parampara, bona fide parampara. I am getting the teachings from a bona fide institution, and I am going to follow it without any hesitation, without any doubt in our mind. We should not be Shanshayatmika. Shangshay is like a doubtful. With doubtful mind, we will be nowhere. Whether we will neither be get delivered, or nor we cannot we cannot enjoy like materialistic people. So don't be in doubt. Be confident. Come to the Nischayatmika Buddhi. Apply our intelligence. We have to apply our intelligence to become confident. That the intelligent will make us confident. That one has to be confident that all activities other than devotional service, such as mental speculation, fruity work, or mystic endeavor, will never yield any enduring benefit. Enduring benefit means ultimate benefit. It will give some temporary benefit, temporary entertainment, but it will not lead us to ultimate enlightenment. So instead of aspiring for temporary enlightenment, in temporary entertainment, let us aspire for permanent enlightenment, lasting enlightenment. So complete confidence in the path of devotional service will enable one to attain his desired goal. But attempting to follow other paths will only succeed in making one restless. So that's why that that verse is there. That is মুক্তি ভুক্তি সিদ্ধিকামী সকলই অশান্ত, কৃষ্ণ ভক্ত নিষ্কাম অতএব শান্ত. So mukti means those who are searching for liberation. That is the Gyanis. Mukti kami there. Mukti siddhi means yogi are looking for mystic endeavors, mystic power. Mukti siddhi, what is that? Bhukti. First is bhukti. Bhukti mukti siddhi kami shakali. Bhukti means bhogi, those who are karmi. The bhukti mukti siddhi kami shakali ashanto, Krishna bhakta nishkam ataevo shanto. So that is the point we need to understand, that by bhoga, by jnana, by yoga, we will not become permanently happy. So in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated, one must be calmly convinced that who has given up devotional service to engage in severe austerities for other purpose are not purified in their minds, despite their advanced austerities, because they have no information of the transcendental loving service of the Lord. So the austerity will not make us actually purify our mind. Now we know Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu has done a severe austerity. But what was in his mind? In his mind, he was thinking how I can kill Vishnu. Because Vishnu has killed my brother Hiranyakshap. So I will do such an austerity and I will become immortal, and so that I can kill Vishnu. So that is the motivation of austerity. So advanced austerity will not guarantee devotional service. So we have to reject all those things and we have to discharge simple devotional service which has been prescribed by our acharyas. In the further stated in the 10th canto, all the mental speculators and fruitive actors may perform great austerities and penances. They still fall down because they do not have information about the lotus feet of the Lord. So why they are falling down? Because they are mostly depending upon on their endeavor. What is their endeavor? The Kurmis are endeavoring by on their karma. That I will do karma. I will do so much karma. I that some isn't they say they say that I will become a karma yogi. In the karma yogi there is no jog actually. That jog is with the bhog. That jog actually with the they want to accumulate more money, more power, more prestige for their own benefit. There is nothing yoga with Krishna. Otherwise they will be, but they say in that way the karma yoga. Actually they are karmi, shakam karmi. Ah. So they will do sometimes they will do so-called religious activity also, but their motive is so that I can attain some punna, so that I can become famous, so that I can be in touch with influential people. I will invite so many people. I can become friendly with them, so that maybe my customer network will increase, my client network will increase. That was there in their mind. So that is the karmi mentality. Fruitive actors, and then Gani, they are after speculation. They are speculating here, this thing, that thing. Mentally, they are mental jugglery. Okay, and then there is the yogis. They are doing penances, gymnastic, physical gymnastic. They can show so many spectacular, miraculous activities. Okay, so they are taking the Vedic path and they are fulfilling their own desire. So that, and ultimately they are not taking shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna, which is the shelter, Mukunda, the lotus feet of Mukunda. They are not going to take that shelter, and that's why they will fall down. Because without shelter, how long you will remain? Without shelter, how long we will remain in that place? So that we need to understand. The devotees of the Lord, however, never fall down. In Bhagavad Gita 9.31, the Supreme Personality of Godhead assures Arjuna, Kunteo pratijanahi janihi name bhakta pranashati. This is the thing. If you become a devotee, Krishna will take. O son of Kunti, declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes. So this is the verdict of Bhagavad Gita. So we have to be very much rest assured. We should feel assurance. We are rest assured means we should not be in anxiety that we should not be doubtful that really Krishna will protect me. This doubt should not be there. That's why this Bhagavad Gita verse is also there. Nehavikrama nashasti pratyabhayana vidyate shalpamasya dharmasya trayate mahat bhayat. So we should have confidence. Nischa, utshaho, nischa, nischa, dhirjat. And we should be patient. We should not be restless. That okay, I am doing devotional service. I am waking up morning for say 4 o'clock for last 1 month. Why I am not relishing? No, Baba, we are practicing this bhakti only in this life. Maybe we don't know. In last life, until the last life, we were in maybe in sinful activities. So give some time. Sometimes as the result is not coming, people are now looking for fast result. We will click this thing in the Google and we will get the information. I will get it done. Things. Bhakti will not happen like this. Bhakti will not depend upon any Wi-Fi speed or network, anything. Bhakti will happen by the mercy of Guru and Krishna. More we remain patient. Now this impatience is a culture, and that's why we're looking for high speed. This one what 1 Mbps, 100 Mbps, 1000 Mbps, giga. What is that? The speed is increasing. Why they have to increase the service provider? Because people are looking for more high, very speed, but they don't. One thing I cannot understand, that they are doing everything so fast. That means they are
Gbps.
GPS, GGPS, na what?
GBPS, gigabyte.
Gigabyte.
GBPS.
So they want so enormous information with a fraction of second. So that means they want to do all their activity very fast. That means they will save more time. But what they are doing with that time? What they are doing ultimately with that time? They are ultimately indulging in sense gratification only. They are not fruitfully using that time for discharging Krishna consciousness or for elevating themselves. So that's why this impatience has become a culture, impatient culture now. So that is the one aspect of it, that we have to be very much patient. We need to wait for some time. Things may go sometimes here and there, but again we have to come to their platform. Okay. So that is the point for it. So devotional service is so pure and perfect that once having begun, one is forcefully dragged to ultimate success. Just see how much wonderful sentence this. If we remember this one sentence, Prabhupada is giving full assurance that if you just come once to this devotional platform, it will drag to you. This is the mercy of Lord. The Lord is waiting for from time since time immemorial when this living entity will turn his face towards me. As soon as he will turn little bit, Krishna will bestow so many facilities to this devotee. That's please get so that he remain in this devotion. But then also sometimes by the influence of Maya, we get distracted. But again, there are so many stories that sometimes they got disconnected. Again, they come because Krishna will never leave them. So sometimes a person will give up his ordinary material engagement out of sentiment, take shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, and begin the preliminary execution of devotional service. Even if such an immature devotee falls down, there is no loss on his part. This is actually Narad Muni's statement in Bhagavatam. There is no loss. Even if someone takes sentimentally this devotional service. On the other hand, what is the gain of one who executes the prescribed duties according to his varna and ashram but does not take to the devotional service? There are people they are like I was giving the example of karma yogi. They are doing everything. They are discharging their all their duties very perfectly. They are thinking I am doing very perfectly my managing family, managing my business, my managing my professional life, managing my health, everything I'm doing perfectly. But there is no bhakti. So what is the point? I am doing all the kartabbo karma, dutiful. I am very dutiful. I have done everything. They have the pride of doing that. But what is the point in that? On the other hand, someone may neglect his own duty and may sentimentally engage in devotional service. That is also glorious because ultimately that will give him the shukriti. Even he falls down also after some sentimental discharge of devotional service. That is also nihavikraman ashasti pratyavayana vidyate shalpamasya dharmasya trayata mahatma. Shalpamasya, whatever he has done, that will deliver him in the future. But this fellow who has done all things very perfectly, ideally, what gain he will gain? He will not gain anything. He will roam around in this cycle of birth and death. Sometimes in the Shargaloka, sometimes Martaloka, and sometimes Naraka. He will suffer like anything. So we have to understand that devotional service, the position of devotee is very special, and the devotional service is so sublime. Even though it is so simple, just offering patrang pushpang phalang toyang, just one offering of leaves, one leaf. Patram means singular number. It is a singular number. Patrani is plural number. Patram is a singular number. One leaves. Krishna is asking for give me one leaves, one fruit, one flower. I will be satisfied, but give it with love of devotion. He is hungry for our love. He is not hungry for our flowers and fruits and what. Shata Sahasra Lakshmi Shabbamanam. He is served by hundred and thousands of Lakshmi in spiritual world. So that we need to understand. That is so simple and sublime devotional service. Anyone at any part of the world can discharge this devotional service. People say that ISKCON is for rich people. That is a nonsensical statement. ISKCON is for everyone. Anyone can discharge. Prabhupada has said this thing. Anyone can get into the International Society of Krishna Consciousness because performing Krishna consciousness is very, very simple. It is simple than any other deity worship. Any other deity means any other demigod worship. Very simply you can do it. It has a simple standard, and it has a very elaborate standard also. According your time, place, and circumstance, you do it, but you do it. We need to do it. We need to discharge this devotional service according to our time, place, and circumstance. Simply you do. In our home, in our homely atmosphere, we may not take the standard of devotional service or standard of deity worship like the temple. We can discharge the deity worship in a simple standard. Morning program, focus on the first morning program, and then slowly that inspiration will help us to elaborate our service. This is a very simple thing. So there are certainly many good qualities. So that is the point, that although a fallen devotee may take his next birth in a low family, his devotional service will not resume from where it left off. So devotional service, the asset is permanent asset. Otherwise, whatever asset we are gaining, it is non-permanent. Yesterday, Jagadish Gaudam Prabhuji, I think, has shared a wonderful video of Shivram Swami Maharaj. He was telling that, so what's the Spain's president or prime minister has passed away. So he was telling that he has passed away out of the air which is free, and the money is intact in his account. He cannot carry that money. Out of air, out of the insufficient air, suffocating as he has suffered from COVID, he passed away. So that is the point, that we, whatever accumulation we are having, materialistic accumulation, we cannot gain it. We cannot, it is not a permanent gain. Temporarily, like Punna Karma can help us to elevate in the platform of Shargaloka for some time, but again we will come down. Khine Punne Patanti. When the Punno account will exhaust, we will fall down. So that is the point. So what is the point in going roaming around like in the Nagarjuna? In the Nagarjuna, sometimes up and sometimes down. So that is happening for the Karmis. And Gyanis are merging into the impersonal Brahma effulgence. That is the variety-less, nothing, how long they can stay. So they also come down. So therefore, devotional service is it cannot be checked by any material condition. It is not affected by any mundane situation, nor can it be determined by any mundane cause or permanently curtailed by any material interruption. Therefore, a devotee should be confident about his engagement and should not be very interested in the activities of karma, jnana, and jnana. Krishna karma koile sarva karma siddha hai. So that is the faith. Shraddha shabde, what is that word? Shraddha shabde bishas koile Krishna karma koile sarva karma siddha hai. Something like that. That if we do devotional service, that means we are doing everything perfectly. We should have that shraddha. That is the zero shraddha. That shraddha we should have. And we should not be allured by the karmis and gyanis. Sorry? Not able to hear?
Are you able to hear me?
And now I am able to hear. Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Yeah, শ্রদ্ধা শব্দে বিশ্বাস হয় দৃঢ় নিশ্চয়, কৃষ্ণ কর্ম কইলে সর্ব কর্ম সিদ্ধ হয়. I think this is the
verse. Dhrira Nischay. This is Dhrira Nischay. This is actually Dhrira Nischay. Thank you, Prabhuji. So this Dhrira Nischay, we should have this Dhrira Nischay. This is the Utshaho Nischayat. That's why Prabhupada is mentioning this thing. So this is very important actually. To have, sometimes we feel that, okay, what we are doing, just offering a little leaves, little water, and chanting, sitting one place. What is this? Yes, this is sentimental. Outside people think that, oh, it is sentimental, or some crazy fellow there. They don't understand the sublimity of this thing, the sublime effect of this principle. So there are certainly many good qualities among fruitive actors, philosophical speculators, and mystical, but all good qualities automatically develop in the character of a devotee. No extraneous endeavor is needed, as confirmed by Srimad Bhagavatam 5:18 and 12. All the good qualities of demigods manifest progressively in one who has developed pure devotional service, because the devotee is not interested in any material activity. He does not become materially contaminated. He is immediately situated on the platform of transcendental life. However, one who engages in the mundane activity, he is a so-called Gyani, Yogi, Kurmi, philanthropist, Nishanis, or whatever, cannot attain the higher stage of Mahatma. He remains a Duratma, a cripple-minded person, according to Bhagavad Gita 16:9.13. This we have already discussed, that we should not be influenced or allured by so-called philanthropic activities. Yes, under the what I can say means under the banner of philanthropic activity, we can do devotional activity. Just like by doing prasadam distribution during the COVID pandemic situation, during the lockdown situation. So apparently people are appreciating ISKCON, that oh, ISKCON is doing so wonderful philanthropic activities. But it is not actually philanthropic activities only. It is philanthropic activities, but this philanthropic activity is situated on the transcendental platform, because we are distributing prasadam, which will deliver one person, or at least give the shukriti of devotional service. Shalpamascha dharmascha. They will get that Shalpamascha effect, which will help him from the Trayata Mahata Bhayat. So that is the point. That we have to, even though sometimes we may need to do for various reasons some philanthropic, so-called philanthropic activities, apparently externally it may seems to be like that, but actually it is a devotional service, because we are mixing devotional element into it, like that. The Mahatmanos tu mam partha doivim prakriti mastrita bhajanta ananda manasha gatva bhutadim abhayam. So this is the point of Mahatma. The Mahatma, sometimes the Mahatma means, sometimes we say do something good for the society, good for the community, but good for the country, good for the world. But what good we can do if we don't give this permanent solution? The temporary solution is not good. But people are seeing only temporary things. They are thinking that yes, feeding people, feeding poor is the most important activity, most beautiful, most one of the greatest philanthropy activity. But that is not the greatest. But just like now we are involved in Annamrita. Annamrita is like that. Is apparently from externally it is a philanthropy activity, but actually it is not. In the garb of philanthropy activity, we are doing devotional activity. We are giving prasadam there. Khichdi prasadam we are distributing to the poor children, those who are coming to the municipality schools. So this is the way we have to do it. And but we should not focus that ISKCON's main activity are this. No, ISKCON's main activity is Ratha Yatra Utshav. Main activity is Janmashtava festival. That is the Utshaho. That is the Utshav. This is not the Utshav. With Utshaho, what we are doing is the festival of the Lord. Gopashtami. Today is the Gopashtami Maha Mahotshav. This is the Utshav. Feeding this Annamrita is not a Utshav category. It is an activity we are doing just for various reasons. And we are mixing that thing with the devotional activity, devotional element, so that it is not a mundane activity, remain mundane platform. But our main activity is to make them Krishna conscious. That should be our main important focus. So that's why we have to. So these last paragraphs are actually the conclusions from the various understandings, various angle Prabhupada is mentioning. Particularly in particularly Prabhupada is again and again is telling this karma, jnana and yogi. We should not be influenced by karma, jnana and yogi. And when we will get free from this karma, jnana and yoga influence, then only we will come to the platform of pure Sattva-guna. And in that pure Sattva-guna, we will actually become Utshaha, Nishcha, Dhirja, Tat Karma Pravutta. So that way we can discharge devotional service. So this karma gana mixing should not be there. So that is the main point. So this is actually Sattva Raja Tamagun. The karmis are at Tamagun, Tamaguna level. Gyanis and yogis, they are Sattva and Raja. So karmi are Tamo Misra. We can categorize. Karmis are like Tamo Mr. Raja, Raja Mr. Tamo, something like that. Gyani are Sattva and Raja and Sattva mixing. Gyanis and yogis. And so that's why Bhakta Yogi is actually in the platform of Vishuddha Sattva. So that is the point. So that hindrance, in this way one can advance in devotional service without hindrance. Otherwise we will be hindered, we will be blocked. Our progress of in Krishna consciousness will be blocked by this effect of karmic effect, ganic effect, or yogis effect. It is nothing but the karmi means the sensual platform, uh, and Gyani means the mental platform, and Yogi means the intellectual platform. So we have to come to that platform, that we need not to beyond sensual platform, beyond mental platform, beyond intellectual. It is a spiritual platform, soul platform. The bhakti is at the soul platform. That is the highest platform. That's why it is sublime. Okay, we may take the karma yoga, jnana yoga, and dhyana yoga, the ladder, bhakti yoga ladder, as described in the Bhagavad Gita. But in this particular situation, in Kali Yuga situation, taking that ladder is also not very fruitful, uh, due to the contamination of this age. So in this age, bhakti, simple bhakti is more easily, can be easily performed, practically performed very easily by anyone in any part of the world. So that's what Srila Prabhupada's most important contribution. So we ended our discussion on this verse number 3, the most important one of the most important verse, where we learned the favorable way to discharge devotional service. So we thank all the devotees, those who have come here, sparing their valuable time and tolerated myself. And I don't know how for it is beneficial for all of you. So anyone has any question, any comments, any clarification, I can try. You can just unmute yourself and tell. Thank you, Rosie, for your encouragement. Anyone else?
Can you please explain, Prabhuji, why this 4:30 a.m. early in the morning is so auspicious for this bhakti and all kirtan and yogas?
Actually, that's what it is actually told. It is referred that 1.5 hour before sunlight is
Okay.
the time of Brahma Muhurta. It's called the time of Brahma Muhurta, and this Brahma Muhurta is a very, very auspicious time for discharging devotional service. Why it is very, very auspicious time? Because this hour normally there is no disturbance. If if you wake up, you will feel a serenity. But for feeling that serenity, you need to have a sound sleep. That means you need to go early to the bed so that you can have sufficient 6 to 7 hours sleep before waking up at 3:30 or 4 o'clock. It is not that key by sleeping 4 hour you can feel that serenity after waking. Otherwise, it will may give you a headache or some bodily discomfort. So to feel the serenity, you will feel if you wake up and do Mangalarati and sit for chanting, it will feel so wonderful, and chanting will be so easy. There will not be very any distraction. The mind will be naturally be calm and quiet. Mind will not roam around here and there. So because this time, this hour is actually the hour of mode of goodness. Hmm. So this mode of goodness will have an effect. This is how the time. This is the what it is the universal time clock, or time and mode of goodness correlation between mode of nature and the time. So time is also having every activity in this material world is influenced by this mode of nature. So similarly, the time is also having that effect. Even though that everything is coming from Krishna, time is the representation of Krishna. Okay, but main important aspect is uh, that when it is in touch with material world, it get contamination of material nature. Like when we get come to the this is the material world means is a diseased atmosphere. Like why there is a social distancing, because if we come in contact with a COVID patient, we will get affected. So similarly, in this world, everyone is having the case of mode of material nature. Everyone is influenced by mode of nature. Anything, any element. The time is element. Time is a aspect, is a energy actually. It's not an element, it's the energy of Krishna. Okay. So that is the point. So that's why when the time is when we wake up in the early in the morning, this early hour is a mode of goodness. So this early hour will be a very easy platform to go to the Vishuddha Shatta. We are practicing on the Shatta Guna time. So from Shatta Guna, it will be easy to fly on the Vishuddha Shatta. But if we start chanting in the after 10 o'clock, then what will happen? Then we will be influenced by the mode of passion. When sunlight will when the sun is rising, the mode of passion is increasing, isn't it? So Brahma Muhurta is a very auspicious. It can be said that Brahma Muhurta is a Vishuddha Shatta phase among in the entire day. After that phase, it is getting contaminated slowly because sun is coming out. Before sunlight, as soon as the sun is coming, the sun is a brightness. The heat energy is coming, light energy is coming. The heat and light, what is happening? The Rajaguna is slowly coming into the phase, and the Rajaguna become prominent. See, here is nothing like this goodness I am telling now. This goodness from that time from 2 o'clock to 10 o'clock, this goodness is not like a pure goodness throughout this 8 hour. It's not like that. Maybe only this Brahma Muhurta is a pure goodness time, because here it is not very late night, like 2 o'clock. Maybe even though it is a goodness, but it maybe they having the influence of uh, Tamoguna. But that is not our consideration to to understand the time, the aspect how it is influenced. But main point is we will get a undisturbed time when no one is going to disturb, nothing is going to disturb me, bother me. Particularly those who are in household life, we have so many responsibilities, isn't it? Either a man or woman, a children or someone, whoever may be. So before getting into all those mundane responsibilities, let us complete our doing a perfect, wonderful morning program will help us remain throughout the day Krishna conscious. If you practice it sometimes, you will actually feel Krishna conscious. You will feel while doing your mundane job also, you will feel inside, from inside, a Krishna conscious vibration is enlivening you from inside. It will happen naturally. Okay, that's why Prabhupada is emphasizing very much emphasized. I was real today, yesterday only. I was hearing when Prabhupada is in Mexico. uh, so he has visited the Mexico temple, and people and the devotees in the temple that has not turned out. They have not come to attend the Mangalarati. So during the Bhagavatam class, Prabhupada was like roaring like a lion. He was chastising the devotees like anything. He was very big. He was expressing his intense anger. Ah, so that was him. So he was very particular about this morning program. Ah, so once I remember one time Srila Prabhupada has visited I think Hawaii temple, and at that time Bhurijan Prabhu was there. So Bhurijan Prabhu, so after landing in Hawaii airport, he asked Bhurijan Prabhu. At that time, Bhurijan Prabhu developed that temple actually. So asked her, how is your morning program going? So Bhurijan Prabhu said at that time he was also a young disciple of Prabhupada at that time. So Bhurijan Prabhu said that actually in the temple there is no guests coming, so morning program is not going regularly. So Prabhupada said, I don't ask about the morning program of the guest. I am asking how your morning program is going on. No, Prabhupada actually as the guest. No, I am not asking about guest. I am asking about you. So Prabhupada was very particular that means you are not doing morning program properly. You are giving an excuse that as guest is not coming, that's why I am not also waking up early in the morning and doing my morning. No excuse will be there. So that means we have to take this inspiration, this instruction of Prabhupada, that we have to wake up early in the morning as far as possible, depending upon our bodily situation, so that we can do our devotional service, a quality devotional service. It will help us. It will help us very wonderful. Okay. Anything else? Because
Thank
we
you
don't.
so much.
Thank you, Mataji. Today we don't have the tension of the next class. Anandman Prabhuji's class is not there, so I am a little bit going over time. I will stop it now. It is already overtime, 5:30 I have said. Anyway, so thank you for everyone's participation. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. So we will be very happy if we can continue this. If you all take the lesson, whatever Srila Prabhupada is telling, this is actually not only telling you, this I am also telling myself. I am also have to become sincere in my practice. So this Nectar of Devotion book, this Nectar of Instruction book is very important in that aspect, that whenever I read, I find that where is my loopholes in my practice. So this will fill up all our loopholes, all our laziness, craziness in our practice, and it will bring us at a steady platform of Krishna consciousness practice. So this is very important book. Please read again and again. You will notice it again. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Thank you all the devotees, particularly Venuyari Prabhu, for coordinating this class wonderfully.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So everyone is
Thank you,
requested
Prabhu. Hare
to
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Everyone is requested.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Everyone is requested to do the assignment. There is some description and descriptive question answer, and MCQ is also there based on verse number 2. I will upload all the classes. I think 2 classes are pending. This class and last class I will upload. Okay. Thank you everyone. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Gaura Bhakta Vrindo ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Jai.